Write your own book. Discover your own destiny. Find your own God. Write your own scripture. And watch the unfolding of your own future. Oh, yeah, a little controversial there, but stay with me. You didn't come this far with me. Stay with me.
You can do it. Don't stop. Ed Montgomery. Come on. A new way of thinking. Transform your mind. Straight from the vine. Fresh new wine.
Hello, I'm Ed Montgomery. Welcome to Fresh New Wine. Fresh New Wine is about the ability to take new thoughts, new thinking, new ways of looking at things, but you don't put them in the old structures. You've got to begin to build and create new structures, because if you keep putting them in the old structures, it's going to keep exploding them and they're going to keep getting mad at you. So there's no need of keep going that direction. Start looking for the people who are looking for you, looking for things that are looking for you, look for love that is looking for you. Now, make sure you hit that like button, tap it, let them algorithms work and work for us and you, and hit those comments wherever you're living. If you don't live in Houston, hit those comments. Let me know where you're from, what city you're in. If you're not in Texas, what state you're in. If you're not in the United States, what country you're in. Now, look, I opened up with something very controversial, and I'm not going to wait until I get to the end of the show to tell you some of the answers to these things. I'm just going to throw them at you as we're talking. We talk about writing destinies. We talk about, let me say it this way. Create your own God. Okay. Some of you are going to say, I'm clicking off of him because he is going into heresy. Well, I got news for you. I think we're creating our own gods every day. There are people that are doing that every day. Let me ask you a question. If it's one person in a room, if it's three of you in a room, next time you go to work, next time you sit down and you're having a discussion with people, ask them one question. How do you view God? Ask them. And if you want a little Bible study, have them have pieces of paper or whatever. And or if you're online, you can connect with us online. Online, ask your online people, how do you view God? What is God to you? And tell them and ask them to give you one word. Ask them to give you three words, maybe two, about two or three, because everybody's at the first one. They all might say love, because God is love. That's a simple thing. They got the definition out of the Bible. But ask them, what is God to you? Give you three good words. And you'll type. Some of you are going to be typing me. What is God to you? Matter of fact, let me ask you. Send it in the comments. If we're in the chat. What is God to you? Is it love? Is it peace? Is God the right religion? Is God a good family? Is God falling in love with somebody who loves you back? Is God getting out of that home where you're getting beat every day and night? Is God maybe getting away from parents who are hurting you? Is God getting out of a situation where your body is being attacked, where you need healing? What is God to you? Now, while you're typing that in, I want those of you who are looking at this, read. If you see any people who are typing it in, read them. You may see some of the same answers, but you're going to see different answers. Why? Because God is something different to all of us. Now, the word God, I'm going to get a little theological for like about 35 seconds. The word God comes from this Hebrew word El, which means God, but Elohim, which means a multiplicity of God. In other words, you got God more than just one God. God is the symbol of how we see the creator of the universe, how we see the the one who made things, the one who is the progenitor, the one who did all of this and started everything. The energy that's throughout our skies and earths and waters. And so what we do is we take all of these definitions, because you can't take everybody's definition and say, in the beginning, love, peace, joy, the one who created the waters, the one who created the air. You can't do all that, because it would take you 10 books of the Bible just to get past in the beginning God. So what you do is you take all these names or all this and just make it the symbol. And the symbol is God. Well, God's name is El Shaddai. God's name, well, these are the characteristics of this God as the human being understood God. Abraham, God was El Shaddai. In other words, God El Shaddai, which is called the multi-breasted one, which means, what is multi-breasted one? How did human beings see it? They saw the breast of a woman as nourishment for the baby. And so when they said the multi-breasted one, it meant it was nourishment or abundance without stopping, without ending. So these were called the names of God. And the Jewish people created these names based on how they saw God. God actually never explains who he is. Actually, when Moses asks him the question, who are you? Who should I say sent me? And God says, I did not reveal my name to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or for the last 400 years. I didn't reveal my name or my character or what I'm made of. So who are you? God says, I am that I am. See, guess what you're doing? God says, I am that I am. I am what I am. I am. In other words, make it up. Choose your God. What is God to you? See what I just did? Well, you got to believe that God is what I say God is. God is God. Here's what, and so they portray God through the Bible as the King of Kings. And then what do? They create a movie. And guess what they make God look like? Okay, let me close this out. Before I go, I'm not going anywhere yet, but I want to say thank you to those of you who have, who give, and to make sure that Fresh New Wine and all of our broadcasts and even our Sunday morning praise and our Sunday morning teachings and sessions stay on the air, and that we're there every Sunday, because we're there every Sunday morning live at 11 a.m. And you're not in there very long, so we get in and we get out. But your giving, your tithes, your offerings all make so much of a difference to so many people. There's so many people that don't hear this. They hear the same old thing over and over again. Well, you need to be more free from sin, and you need to be more holy, and you need to dress like that, do like this, go here. There's some people don't even go to church, and they're lacking in their spiritual lives. We become that place out here where people can find not just new wine, but a fresh new wine. Take a moment, make a gift of $6, $7, $9. I think our number is 9 right now during this time. And take $9. Hit that text to give, 713-742-2035. Right there, 713-742-2035. And give. Listen, you'll make up more than that $9. You'll see that flowing into your life every single day of your life. You'll see that. When I say every single day of your life, giving always comes back in so many different ways. But take that time. All right. Now let me get back to what's very important here. and that is how we see God. We create God by creating our experiences with God. I hope that's not God texting me. I don't think so. But we create our experiences. When God does what people call made a way out of no way, then guess what our God is? He is the God that makes a way out of no way. Somebody loses a parent and somehow it's hurting bad, but they try to get through it. And every day it's a struggle, but as time goes on, they get through. So guess what? We hear that God is a mother for the motherless, father for the fatherless. Everybody doesn't lose a father or lose a mother. So God is different to other people based on their experiences. And there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is when you say, well, here's what God looks like. And we say, God, he's the king and he has on a white robe. He has a white stick in his hand. He has a white crown on his head. He has a white beard. He's sitting on a big white chair. He's 25 feet tall of a big white figure and he has white skin like Michelangelo painted on the Sistine Chapel, this picture of God. And then somebody comes along and says, that's God. And so, and every picture they paint, that's God. And they began to paint these pictures and make these sculptures. And so now they say, we have God. And it is our supreme view of what God is. This is what God looks like. They change the image of Jesus and they say Jesus looked like this. He has straight hair. His skin is very, very white. And this is what Jesus looks like. And so now we're doing that. And we're saying, this must be Jesus. This must be God. But then God don't look like us. They not like us. They not like us. Dun, 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 dun. They not like us. Wow. That's a trip, ain't it? So begin to think and think about this thing. If I can make you believe that you are not like God and God is not like you, then you can make people believe that when God said, let us make man in our image and likeness, and God is saying to us that you are like us. We don't even know what us means. But when we take that word God, we begin to learn. And as we learn, it grows so that when you read, in the beginning, God created the heavens and earth, then when you read the symbol, God, that word, which is the symbol for all of how you see God, because you can't express God. Basically, that's sometimes you feel God. Sometimes you feel this spirit that's over you. And it ain't about what church you go to or who you under in ministry. You feel this God in you. You feel this spirit. And people want to take it, like we talked about last week. Check out my thing on sin last week. People want to tell you, you're such a sinner. You're a horrible sinner because you did this, you did that, because of their interpretation, because they have not studied the word of what salvation means or what it means to be saved or what it means to sin. They haven't studied any of those things, so they don't know the difference. They just went and got a business card, stuck out that business card and started taking up offerings. Well, not everybody. And we find ourselves on radio and on shows talking about what God is. And I think that one of the best things we probably could ever do, and not just ministers, but leaders, educators, hosts on radio, people who have some kind of spiritual understanding about things, can find smaller groups of 3, 4, and 5 people and at least sit down and say, hey, how do we define this now? God is not a white man sitting on a white chair wearing white clothes. God is spirit. So let's get rid of it. We're not putting all those images and pictures out there. We're not buying that Bible that shows this picture of what God or Jesus looks like in that particular Bible. That doesn't make any sense. It does not relate to us at all. Come on, you got to share. God is a spirit. So you learn to create your God. And when you learn to create your God, You learn to begin to add, I call them a PS, a personal scripture. I'm not telling you to, well, throw the Bible. I wrote my own Bible. Thomas Jefferson did. Nobody ever talks about that. He wrote his own Bible. He took out all the miracles and stuff out of the Bible and made the Thomas Jefferson Bible. They took certain passages out of the Bible and made the slave Bible. These people wrote things the way they wanted to write in order to enslave people. The early church, or the Catholic Church, took out a papal bull. They took out edicts. They took out concepts of manifest destiny and said it is our destiny to take this country and to take its gold and take its silver. And if you don't abide by it, we will kill you because we have the power to do it. And so what the church did, it says, we've decided it's God's will. They wrote their own will of God. How do you write your own will of God? Listen, how many of you have ever heard, I better hurry up. How many of you ever heard about the rapture? You know that word is not in the Bible. And what it's saying is that one day Jesus is going to come back and going to pick us all up and take us all up in the sky, and we will leave the earth forever. That's called the rapture. And they said, they keep saying it was going to happen this year. Then they said it was going to happen next year. They said it was going to happen in the year Y2K, 2000. And they said it was going to happen this time and happen another year. Never did happen, did it? You don't hear too much about the rapture. You better live. People got to live. You worried about God coming back, Jesus coming back to get you, to take you in the sky? No, you got to begin to write your own future. Some of them things, let them folk have their names. Let them have their raptures. Let them have some of the stuff that ain't making no sense. And if you're sitting up in churches, having to hear that week after week, get ready for the rapture's coming, maybe it's time for you to begin to write your own stuff. Getting on my nerves. The word this year is bold. I talk to people and they say, you know what, Dr. Ed, I meet a lot of people who say, I'm an educated person, but they talk to me and tell me, you keep flaunting your education, keep using all those big words. Or a person may say they don't like the way I talk, or they don't like the way I look, or they don't like the way I dress. Or, just a lot of things that people will tell other people what they don't like about them. But you know what I'm going to say to you? Sometimes you got to get to a place in your life that you got to get bold about who you are. Now, that doesn't mean you don't make changes. Hey, check an image consultant out. Hey, go online, see what the latest fashions are. Leaf through a magazine. Check some things out. Learn how to talk about things. Take some voice lessons. Do whatever you want to. Make some changes this year. But once you make those changes, let it be you that makes those changes. And once you're satisfied with you, then be the most extraordinary you can ever be. That's what I'm teaching on all this year. It's talking about the extraordinary I, the power of that true I of who you are. So take a moment and emphasize it, because giving makes a difference. When you connect your giving with who you are, it reinforces the power of who you are. That's right. It's not just saying, oh, I'm a nice person. You got to give something. When you give something away, whether it's a smile, whether it's a conversation, whether it's a pat on the back, it reinforces it. I want you to take a moment, make a contribution to what we're doing. I don't know what the amount is that's in your mind, but choose one. Might be $8, might be $10, whatever it is. Do it now. You can do it on your text to give 713-742-2035. But whatever you do it now, right now. We would be so eternally grateful, and it would make me happy. Thank you so much. I appreciate exactly everything that you're doing. Be bold. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit that subscribe button, smash it, crash it. Let us know you're there.